Because the healthcare system is a big system. And it's complicated. And if it was hard doing it, and half of the Congress aren't trying to help. Yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it. It is the right thing to do, and we're going to keep moving forward. We are going to keep working to improve the law just like you did here in Massachusetts.
In a little tent, oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too let it treat you if you dare. Obamacare, we don't need it anywhere. Well, I'll get left with nothing, but they'll tell us that it's fair. Obamacare, let it treat you if you dare. Obamacare, we don't need it anywhere.
These government shutdowns have happened before. The last one was in 1996, but the debate on this one is particularly heated because people have such strong opinions about Obamacare. Interestingly, the polls show that most Americans say they don't like Obamacare, but they love what's in it when it all gets broken down. It's like the opposite of a McNugget. So, it's interesting. And when there are complicated issues to study, most people just side with whoever they usually side with. So I decided to conduct an experiment today. We sent a camera crew out on the Hollywood Boulevard to ask people which they thought was better, the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. Now, as you may know, Obamacare is just a nickname for the Affordable Care Act. They're the same thing. But lo and behold, we found people who did not know that, and that didn't stop them from weighing in on it.
We're talking about health care today, and which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it, and it needs to be revamped. I think hasn't been thought out.
You think the Affordable Care Act is a better plan than Obamacare?
Better, but I'm not happy with that either.
What do you agree with, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm more sort towards the Affordable Care Act, but I'm also very sympathetic for people that don't have the ability to have proper medical insurance.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is still a better option than
Yes.
Obamacare?
Yes.
And why do you not agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think it's not really available for all.
So the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Just the name says it all.
Right. You would agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely. I think it's nice that everyone can afford it, and everyone should be able to afford it, but to force people to pay something and then doctors to make something, limiting their ability to do their job, that's kind of anti-American.
Right. So Obamacare is un-American?
I think it's kind of un-American to force people. What if they can't afford it? What if they want more coverage?
And the Affordable Care Act is American?
I think it's more American because it allows people to make their own choices on what they want and who they want to work with.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on. I just don't agree with it.
I like the term Obamacare. We passed Obamacare. Yeah, I like the term. We passed it. because I do care.
Obamacare's on my list. I apologize, Mr. President. I use that term with all respect, by the way. Good.
Lock in tight on Obamacare.
Obamacare. Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Obamacare. Until it's working really well, and then they're going to stop calling it Obamacare. They're going to call it something else.
They're losing their existing insurance plans under Obamacare.
Latest on Obamacare.
Obamacare fiasco.
Obamacare fiasco. Never-ending Obamacare fiasco.
Obamacare.
Implement and improve the Affordable Care Act. 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 Affordable Care Act.
The 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 Affordable Care Act, as I call it, as always called it.